presents Living Your Best Life with Professor Rosalyn Kahn.
Good afternoon, everyone. This is Rosalyn Kahn with Living Your Best Life with Chow Entertainment KXLA. Boy, do we have a special guest for you today. This is Mr. Bert Botta, who's an aviation expert, witness, writer, and consultant, and has a long career in the world of aviation. So say hello to us, Bert.
Hello, audience, and great to be here, Rosalyn.
Fantastic. What inspired you so many years to get involved in wanting to become an airline pilot? How did that all begin?
Well, I went up with my father in an old DC-3 one time, and I wanted to go out on the wing. I was 5 years old. I wanted to go out on the wing and see how things work. And he wouldn't let me do that, so I figured the next best thing was to learn how to fly and do it myself. So it's kind of kidding, but at the same time, that experience stuck with me. And then I went into the Navy, and I was flying in a squadron. And then I came out of the Navy and then went to apply to TWA and got hired. And that began that career. And I retired. I took early retirement from TWA and then spent 7 years traveling around the world and writing a book, and then came back to work for NetJets, which is the world's largest and best known what they call fractional jet ownership company. It's basically where high-end clients pay a lot of money for the privilege of flying around to places in the world. So that's kind of sums up my aviation career, but I still write, I do consulting, and it morphed now into doing aviation expert witness work since I love, how should I say it? I love demonstrating and experiencing aviation in all its forms. And this is a way to put my counseling skills as well as my aviation background to work for aviation legal clients.
Wow. God, you said it all. I don't have anything else to say. You've covered all the bases, but let me take you back a few seconds, all right?
Sure.
So you spent 7 years traveling. What was one of your favorite destinations that you traveled to?
I would like to say India, although it definitely was interesting. You don't go to India to take a leisurely vacation. India is very intense, but the people are wonderful, and that was one of my favorite places. Pretty much, and then I was flying for TWA on loan to Saudi Arabian Airlines, and we were training pilots in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia, and I got to fly throughout the entire Middle East. And during those days, Pakistan, Karachi, Pakistan was a really beautiful city, and so I really enjoyed the Middle East as well.
How was that flying in the Middle East? I've actually traveled to there. I did some traveling in Dubai, Israel, and United Arab Emirates.
Challenging to say the least. It's we would fly into places in the middle of the desert, and that ordinarily I had never had any experience flying into, and it was you had to really pay attention to what you were doing because there was no FAA traffic control, no air traffic control. And you were pretty much on your own in many of the areas over there. So that was interesting. I love going to the different countries over there and experiencing the food and the different cultures in Jordan and Tel Aviv and all throughout the Middle East and up into Europe and Morocco, those areas. So I really, really enjoyed it.
That's fantastic. Now, when your well-to-do clients pay you to take them to different destinations, is there a favorite destination that they like to go to?
Aspen.
Aspen.
They love to go to Aspen in the wintertime. And I say that kind of facetiously, but they really do. They love going to Aspen. And it's very interesting because everybody goes to Aspen at the same time. So it makes it difficult to get landing permits and sometimes landing clearances. But that was during the time I flew for NetJets. That was one of their favorite destinations. And Sun Valley, Idaho was one of their favorites. All the famous, how should I say it, high-end locations are where most of the clients used to fly to.
Wow. Was it difficult dealing with these people?
No, I loved it. These people, they have made it. They made their money. And for the most part, they were very comfortable when they're in their own skin and enjoyed life. There was always a few exceptions, but we dealt with them, fairly easily. It was it was a delightful career. And And
Now
we
you
flew them and their dogs and cats, and it was very enjoyable.
exactly. Now you also mentioned that you had done some work with in the world of counseling, and that seems to me be a little different career path that most people who are pilots come into.
It definitely was different. I went through kind of a midlife crisis when I was flying for the airline, and so I took some time off and did some traveling around the world. And then I came back, and I realized that I was pretty much a taker, and I wanted to change my life. And so I went back to school and got a master's degree in counseling psychology. And that I figured was a way I could give back and help others. And then I came back to fly for the airline. And as it turned out, I was able to pretty much counsel, if you will, pilots and help them through some rather serious training issues. I was given, my chief pilot found out I was a counselor, and so he'd give me some of the tough cases. Some of the pilots who were having trouble upgrading to captain from first officer, or in the cases of the old airplanes, from flight engineer to first officer. So I'd take these guys out and fly with them and just teach, relax, get them relaxed and help them to realize that in many cases they've been flying for 10 or 15 years. They knew what they were doing, but when they come up against a training situation, a lot of them would just freeze up and forget they knew what they knew. And so it's just a matter of getting them to relax and be able to access their skills that they had kind of tightened up and forgotten.
Wow. Did you use any meditation training or anything like that, or?
Medication or meditation?
Meditation.
Meditation, yes, I did. In my own life, I did, but not with the pilots. There they were, and still are. Many pilots are pretty straight arrow guys, and they don't take well to, how should I say it, alternative modalities. So meditation was not one of the ones I would use.
Wow. Wow. Now, tell me a little bit about your writing.
I've written a book. It's called Fastlane to Faith. I became a Christian back in 2004, and it's pretty much the life story of me and about my growing up in San Francisco. I was one of the early hot rodders in the late 50s and early 60s in San Francisco, and that morphed into my need for speed to flying jets. And then I wrote about my spiritual journey around the world, and then finally meeting the woman of my dreams. And so it's kind of more of an autobiography than anything else. And now I also write for aviation companies. I do social media for large aviation companies. I rewrote a website for a local charter and management company here in Novato, south of me. And I do a lot of different kinds of writing for different companies. Solaris Aero hired me to interview and profile their captains, because it's a very high-end, very well-recognized, and probably one of the world's biggest high-end corporate jet charter and management companies. And I know the owner, the CEO, and they hired me to profile their pilots so that they could distribute these profiles to their customers, to their clients, so that they would know a little bit more about who had their life in their hands.
Wow, that sounds fascinating. I mean, you've got such an amazing life. I mean, you've told us about how you got involved in the field of aviation, how you've got in the field of writing, your different places that you've worked, some of the traveling things that you've done. And my last and final question is, I understand that you also do some work as an aviation expert in accidents and so forth. Is that what you do?
Yes, I've decided to use some of my background as a pilot, not just for commercial air carriers, in my case, the older airline TWA, but also for NetJets, which is a corporate company. I decided to use that background in combination with my professional counseling skills, because as an aviation expert witness, it helps to know, how should I say it? It helps to be emotionally intelligent, which means to know what you're feeling, what your emotions are, so that you can have control over those feelings and emotions and use them in a constructive manner rather than be at the cause and effect of those. So I see that as kind of a unique combination of my experience and background that I'm taking into the aviation expert witness world.
It's almost like applying emotional intelligence to what you're doing. Would you agree?
Perfect. Exactly. Exactly.
Wow.
That's
Well,
exactly what it is. And, a lot of people, their emotional IQ is not, not as high as it could be, because especially when they're under stress, they react instead of respond appropriately. So that's kind of one of my specialties, is being able to read into people's psychological and emotional makeup, especially aviation professionals, and use that in my aviation expert witness work.
Oh, that's fantastic. I had done some training in the past where I was working with pilots who were small planes and helping them to reduce their stress and anxiety. But that's the excitement of life here. Well, it's really been a pleasure and honor. Now, if someone wanted to go ahead and follow you and get in touch with you for one of your various crafts, where would be the best place that they could reach out to you at?
It's BottaJet, BOTAJET @gmail.com. That's my last name with one T, BOTAJET @gmail.com. And
they can also find you on LinkedIn, correct?
I'm on LinkedIn. I'm also if you go to www.seekexperts.com, that is where my aviation expert witness profile is located.
It's truly been a pleasure and an honor to have you. This is Rosalyn Kahn. I want to thank you so much. If you're interested in following me, this is Rosalyn Kahn at Living Your Best Life. Gratitude beyond words. You can follow me on all social media with just the name Rosalyn Kahn. Thank you so much, and tune in for our next show. And Bert, I want to say gratitude beyond words. Thank you so very much.
Thank you, Rosalyn. It's a pleasure.
Senior Care Authority is a one-stop solution for helping you locate senior living options.
We understand the care, the costs, and the safety records of hundreds of communities, from assisted living and memory care to independent living and even skilled nursing. We help families cut through the complexity to make courageous, informed decisions under difficult circumstances.
Hey, are you looking to get blinged out? Well, look no further. Boss Lady Bling Blingy have all the bling you need. You can find us online at Lady Blingy 4 on IG or Lady Blingy on Facebook, or www.bossladyblingblingy here in sunny San Diego at 2031 Commercial Street, San Diego, California. Call us at 619-617-4586.
Biz Avjets USA Magazine is a new publication to the business aviation industry. And business aviation is a growing and thriving industry. We plan to bring you all the latest trends and news. We also plan to bring you new information about new airframes, systems, and interiors to market. Feel free to visit bizavjetsusa.com.
Did you know the #1 way to earn money is speaking? Everyone thinks public speaking is the worst. Some people are so scared they never even get started. Your story deserves to be shared. You can learn from top speakers. You need to join Standout Stars for their free Week of Kindness and Gratitude Summit. Learn how to get out of your comfort zone and grow to the next level. Develop new skills in business. Find out how experts get motivated to increase their workflow. Develop your writing skills. Find your passion and learn to share it with the world. Unlock secrets to improving the production of your podcast and increase lead generation. Learn how to improve your own personal health and wellness. This is a virtual event which runs January 16th through 21st. Sign up on our website at weekofkindness.com free. Be sure to visit weekofkindness.com. Sign up right now.
Over 40 years, Lighthouse Central Florida has provided education, independent life skills, and job training to thousands of Central Floridians who live with blindness or any degree of vision loss. Whether it's picking out clothes in the morning or just moving around your community and serving Orange, Seminole, and Osceola counties, contact Lighthouse Central Florida at 407-898-2483 or visit them online at lighthousecfl.org.
Living your best life. Please welcome Rosalyn Kahn.
Hi, everybody. This is Rosalyn Kahn. Today, I am especially honored and privileged to take us all the way to South Africa. Yes, this is Rosalyn Kahn on Living Your Best Life. We are so honored and privileged today to have with us Mr. Joseph Chetty. Mr. Joseph Chetty was born in Africa and lives in a slightly different city than before. But what's really special about this kid is he's a world leader. This kid is on one of the top 50 young world leaders. He's an ambassador in that organization. He recently received a bachelor's degree in strategic business communication. Josh, go ahead and say hello to the audience for us here.
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show, Rosalyn. It's absolutely amazing to be with you all and to have the audience listen to me. And it's such an honor to have the platform. So thank you for having me. It's an absolute pleasure.
Now, Joseph, I know you've had some challenges in your life in growing up with cerebral palsy. And as a child, sometimes it looks different from the outside in. When did you as a child first realize that things were just a little different for you?
So for me, basically, I was born with a disability. So my condition is called cerebral palsy, as you know. But up until I would say maybe the second grade, I had no idea that there was anything wrong with me or that I walked a little differently to the other kids in school. I would actually even take part in like sports events at school and carrying bean bags, and as you'd have your sports days, I would participate. And it's only afterwards when I looked at photos that my dad used to take of me participating that I noticed that, hey, I look different to the other kids. And that's when I started asking questions. And then my parents told me that I have a disability and I am different to the other kids, but they never made me feel that I was different. They've treated me just as any other able-bodied learner. I've achieved many things, which I'm incredibly excited about, and it's all because they've never told me that I can't do anything. It's always been, you can do it. It just still take a little bit more time and maybe a bit more effort, but I can achieve things, and I definitely have proven that I've achieved so much. And I'm looking forward to the future. I'm looking forward to achieving many more things, and I'm just excited about what more is to come. So yeah, I'm really positive, and it's really amazing to meet all of you. And so yeah, it's been an awesome journey thus far, and I'm looking forward to what's next.
Fantastic. I think the key thing is the mindset. I recently
Yes.
attended a seminar this weekend, and it's all about the mindset. There was a gentleman who said, I'd like a volunteer to say 20 times, I have cancer, I have cancer, I have cancer, and no one volunteered. But if you go ahead and tell yourself, I can, it's like a little train that could. You mentioned some of your phenomenal achievements. Why don't you go ahead and share with the audience here? What are some of the great things that you've gone ahead and have achieved?
All right, no problem. So one of the big things is last year I was one of the top 50 world's most influential young leaders, and a part of that group, I was one of 9 South Africans who were included in that group representing my country, and that was incredibly amazing to be a part of that. In fact, there's actually going to be a book published, and that's going to be in March of this year. I know that's when I met you, Rosalyn. You would remember that conference.
Yes.
Where we connected, and it was absolutely amazing getting to listen to the stories of people from all over the world. And I came into contact with you and so many other amazing people. So that was one of the more recent achievements. I was also a Men of Valor 2021, which is done by Panache Promotions and Events. They do Women of Wonder and Men of Valor every year. And that's awarding inspiring and upstanding men and women in communities doing charity work. I was in a room full of doctors and scientists and news anchors, and I was included in that group, and I was incredibly honored to have received the award. I was nominated by a good friend of mine. That was last year, but when I matriculated in 2017, that's 12th grade here in South Africa, I was the top matriculant in my country with special needs. And that introduced me to a whole lot of different opportunities and different things that I could get into. It introduced me to the world of television, and having had newspaper articles written about me and being on TV and being on radio, it really seems like an exciting world. And so I'm really excited to continue that this year. It's really something that I look forward to expanding more into. It's definitely one of my interests, which I would like to pursue further. So yeah, those are just some of my achievements, and I'm hoping to achieve many more things, and also giving back to the community. I'm passionate about humanitarian work, mental health awareness, cerebral palsy awareness, and so I really look forward to furthering those interests and doing whatever I can to help. I think there's so much that can still be done, and I'm looking forward to making a positive contribution. So yeah.
Wow, that's fantastic. I don't think the organization of Cerebral Policy could have a better person to be out speaking with a man of so many achievements. The one thing I'd like to go ahead and conclude with is Joshua Chetty is a man who's far senior than his years. He's just an 18-year-old, I believe, and yet he's accomplished so much. I hope that we can bring you back. This is Rosalyn Kahn on Living Your Best Life. And Joshua, how could someone go ahead and follow you? Where could they go to find out more information on you?
You can find me on all the social media platforms. I'm on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. I have a YouTube channel that I'm going to put more content on. I'm currently working on a blog, so that's something really exciting. But I'm on all the social media channels. My email address, I can, if you'd like to get in touch with me, you can just send me a message on social media. On all my social media handles, it's Joshua Kelly Chetty. And from there, if you'd like to be in touch, you can definitely look into that. I can send you my email address and we can get talking. So thank you so much.
Thank you for your interest in In-Flight USA and our newest publication, BizAvJets USA. We serve general and business aviation throughout the U.S. For more information on submitting articles or advertising in our publications, visit inflightUSA.com. Thank you.
Grandmother had Alzheimer's, and I remember we were all in the hospital room, and for like 10 seconds she recognized who we were, and then it was gone. So it's like a thief. It's taking away memories and who you are as a person. Over 5.5 million Americans have Alzheimer's. That number may double by 2050. For more information, visit rightfocus.org.
Good evening. Hi, this is Rosalyn Kahn. I'm here with the wonderful Walter Frank. I've heard that you are like a major movie producer.
Oh yeah, that's 3 majors. So yeah, writer, producer, director, actor sometimes.
Great. So what is one of the films that you're most proud of?
One is called Hey Mr Postman. We shot that a couple years ago in Cleveland, Ohio. Independent film, first-time writers, and the cast was good. It had myself, Omar Gooding, Tamala Jones, and a couple of the stars that you recognize if you see it. But it's streaming right now on Netflix, Amazon Prime.
Wow, what was the plot of the movie about?
Just basically about a deadbeat guy who couldn't get his life together, and finally he found work at the post office.
Wow.
And the whole plot is that he solved the big major crime that was in that town, and kind of like renewed himself to his family and his friends, and kind of smoking it, and became somebody, and became a little leader in his community.
You want to know what's really funny? My husband is a postman.
Really?
He's a postman, and in his life, he's gotten to the film and the movies, and so he's out there doing some, side work and so on and so forth. Sure. And he's really active in politics and helping make sure the world's a better place.
Yeah.
And it's exciting being part of this movie here. But what is the most exciting thing about being a director?
For this particular project, you're visiting here tonight. I'm the writer and the director, so I get a chance to write the plot. I get a chance to direct first-time actors. And I'm a griot. I love to tell stories. And I love to formulate those stories and make them visual. So that's the most exciting part, taking it from the paper to the screen.
Wow. Well, they say I'm a natural artist, a storyteller. I've been on the TED stage 2 or 3 times and things like that. And I love creating words and bringing them to life. And then you said you're a producer. When we talk about a producer, what makes a producer special than a director? Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, a producer also works. It doesn't make anyone's more special than the next, because every element of a film, they one begets the next. So to be a producer and director, it gives me a chance to also kind of take care of the integrity of a project that I'm working on. As a producer, I bring all the pieces together, from the actors to the first AD, second AD, the PAs. Everybody's going to be an elemental part of making the movie come to life.
Wow. When we talk about this film right here, what intrigued you to take a part in this movie? What made it special for you that jumped out and said, I want to be a part of this historical event?
Well, they're friends of mine, and one thing I love is I love people when they put passion behind what their ideas are. They become passionate about it. And as long as I see passion in anything anybody does, you know, it's more than one way to be a philanthropist. You know, I give them my time, which is money as well, and I give them my artistic ability. And they had a lot of things, a lot of elements to this project that showed me they were passionate about it. And they'll see it through from beginning to end. So that's what made me want to come aboard with it and lend my expertise to it.
Fantastic. Now, if somebody wanted to get involved in the directing or the movie making business, what type of advice or feedback would you give them of things that they might want to strive for, or things that they want to do to make it in that world?
Well, you have to become a student of film, period. And there's many ways to do that. You can look at different movies and break them down. You know, once you make that decision, you'll never look at movies the same. You know, break down for continuity, for lighting, for direction. When you look at for a writing aspect, you look at it for continuity in writing.
Right.
And, you know, the roller coaster ride that a script is supposed to take you on, and you follow that in your mind creatively. Casting-wise, you look at the actors who fit certain parts. Do they really fit that part, or will they just throw in a role? How are they casted? You know, how are all the elements come together that were brought together to make this project? How are they formulated to make this project successful? And somebody wants to get into directing, then those are the first things that you have to do. You have to become a student of film.
Right. And my last and final question, is there one mentor that you really looked up to that you wouldn't be where you are today if it hadn't been the mentorship and the guidance of this one person who influenced you?
Well, I've had several over these years. I'm 50 years old. I've been in this business since I was 3 years old. So I've had different mentors. Howard Rollins Jr., rest in peace. He was an Academy Award nominated actor for Soldier Story and also for Ragtime.
Right.
Also, Bill Duke. He taught me transcendental meditation, how to center my thoughts in order to create. I've been taught by many people that are thriving in their careers as well. But I think mostly my mother. My mother's been on Broadway for 40 years, and she brought me into the business, and I've been thriving ever since.
Wow. Well, Walter, it's truly been an honor and a pleasure to speak with you today.
Thank you.
I mean, you've got such a beautiful story, a beautiful heart, and beautiful passion. I'm so grateful we were able to spend a few minutes together.
Indeed, I appreciate you.
You know, my name is Rosalyn Kahn. I'm with Chow Entertainment. My program is called Living the Best Life with Rosalyn Kahn.
Say that now.
There you go.
I love how you say that with passion. I love the passion.
There you go. Thank you so much. Gratitude beyond words. You can follow me on social media under the name Rosalyn Kahn. It's Chow Media, KXLA, and it shows every Tuesday at 11 a.m. So watch out to see the show. Thank you so much. Gratitude beyond words. Namaste. Thank you.
Namaste. I like that.
Nurse Access Staffing is seeking experienced RN and LVNs. For more information, call us at 818-697-4484 or check us out on our website, nurseaccessstaffing.com.